What's happening? Prince Harry's live-streamed conversation with trauma expert and physician Dr. Gabor Mate continues to attract praise and criticism. The candid conversation on Saturday included discussion of Dr. Mate's impressions of Harry's memoir, which he said he initially resisted reading but was ultimately struck by the universal humanity of it. The pair covered a range of topics including Harry's use of psychedelic drugs, the war in Afghanistan and the apparent multi-generational emotional issues within the royal family. Yahoo UK runs through some of the different reactions to the conversation, and why it's attracted so much attention. Harry's drug use, soaked in blood. The Duke of Sussex and Dr. Mate talked candidly about the benefits, as they framed it, of using psychedelic drugs as well as the substances Harry used to cope with trauma in his younger years, like marijuana, alcohol, and cocaine. Harry said that cocaine didn't do anything for him, it was more a social thing, but that marijuana on the other hand was different, that actually really did help me. He also described taking the psychedelic drug ayahuasca as clearing of the windscreen, which removed the filters he saw life through. The comments have attracted criticism. Fiona Spargo-Mabs, who founded the Daniel Spargo-Mabs Foundation drugs education charity after her son died of an accidental MDMA overdose aged 16, described the comments as concerning. Unfortunately, young people are getting the message from somewhere that drugs are going to help with their problems, and anything that reinforces that is a concern for us. Using drugs as a coping strategy is more likely to lead to dependence than other motivations because that becomes how you are coping with something. Journalist and Dr. Max Pemberton called Harry's comments hugely irresponsible. He speaks about using drugs that are illegal in this country, proclaiming the benefits he has enjoyed from cannabis and hallucinogenics such as ayahuasca. It's hugely irresponsible, he said. Harry plainly has no understanding of the serious damage these substances can wreak on users, damage that I see on mental health hospital wards with upsetting frequency. The outspoken television presenter Kirstie Allsopp was equally scathing, saying Harry's actions were soaked in blood. She tweeted, "Someone needs to tell Prince Harry that county lines doesn't mean doing coke in the home counties. It means that stuff you took to ease your trauma was soaked in the blood of those whose own trauma and lives are as far from your privileged bubble as it is possible to get. We should be empathizing." The reaction to Harry's chat with Mate wasn't all critical, with some praising the Duke of Sussex for his openness. Barrister and academic Dr. Charlotte Proudman said people should be empathizing rather than criticizing Harry, saying, "We should be empathizing with a man who bravely shares his battle with mental health, not labeling him deluded. This is dangerous and will discourage people from speaking out about trauma." Omid Scobie, Yahoo UK's executive royal editor, called the talk with Dr. Mate powerful on Twitter. "Fascinating and powerful convo between Harry and Dr. Gabor Mate and, gotta say, brave to do it live and so publicly. Mate didn't tiptoe around the big topics or mince words and, as a result, provided one of the most revealing insights into Harry, who clearly knows his stuff, today." Journalist Ellie Hall echoed Scobie's sentiments and added, "Harry has obviously done a lot of work on his mental health and feels comfortable enough in that work and in himself to be open and honest about his experience. ADD diagnosis, neither ethical nor appropriate." At one point during the conversation, Dr. Mate diagnosed Harry with a series of mental health issues that the physician had identified in the Duke whilst reading his memoir. This included attention deficit disorder, ADD. He said, "Reading the book I diagnose you with ADD, I see it as a normal response to normal stress, not a disease." This comment that drew anger from the ADHD Foundation. Gabor Mate, "It is neither ethical nor appropriate to tell someone for the first time in a public interview that they have ADHD. It is for the individual to decide whether to disclose their neurodiversity." Joking about the diagnosis, Harry told Dr. Mate, "Thanks for the free session." President Biden will likely not attend the coronation of King Charles III this coming May, a pair of White House officials told Time magazine on Friday. The officials, who spoke to Time under the condition of anonymity, told the outlet that Charles's May 6 crowning does not feel like an event Joe Biden will attend. However, they added that Biden's plans for the coming spring have not yet been finalized, potentially leaving the door open for a presidential trip to the UK. A Buckingham Palace official told Time that they would be releasing an official guest list for the coronation in due course. Charles became king last September upon the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Both the President and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden joined hundreds of other leaders at the Queen's funeral in London. The couple met the Queen at Windsor Castle just over a year before her death. When Biden spoke to Charles upon his mother's passing, the White House said in a press release that he'd conveyed his wish to continue a close relationship with the king. However, Time noted that Biden himself has long held a personal discomfort with the British monarchy. This is in part due to his strong Irish heritage, and the Biden family has reportedly held anger about the historic colonization of Ireland by the British monarchy, a sentiment shared by many native Irish people. The revelation of Biden's possible absence comes at a time when the British monarchy has come under fire even for its continued existence due to the cost of living crisis in the UK. Charles has pledged to have a more scaled-back coronation than his mother, but controversy over the royal family has continued to build.